Good morning, everyone. Welcome. Thank you so much. I hope everybody's travels were smooth on your way here. I hope you got some breakfast this morning. We're very excited to have you here at our first FinOps X in Europe. I'm excited to introduce this morning Ferran Grau, who's going to talk to you about addressing your carbon footprint with FinOps. So please give him a warm welcome.
Thank you very much. I'm Ferran Grau. I'm Ferran Grau. I'm the FinOps tech lead of Adevinta. I will not talk about me now in this moment because during all the presentation we will learn a lot of things about me, so not needed now. Probably I'm from Adevinta, as I say. Probably you don't know too much about Adevinta because the name Adevinta is not well known. But we are a big classifieds company, the biggest one. I think it's one of the biggest in the world, or the biggest one. To put you in context, we have 2.5 billion of monthly visits. We have more than 25 marketplaces and present in more than 10 countries. But the thing is that Adevinta is not known because the people know better the name of our marketplace. For example, if you go to the street here and ask about Adevinta, probably people will not know. But everyone in Spain know about Fotocasa, about InfoJobs, and same for the other marketplace we have in around Europe and the world. Something good to work in a big company like Adevinta is that you can always find people with the same interest like you. For example, I like astronomy, and there are a lot of people that like astronomy too in Adevinta. We have a Slack channel only dedicated to astronomy. For example, this equipment is the equipment for a colleague of my company, Guillaume Boiron. And this is the top of the roof of our offices in Paris. You can see the Sacré-Cœur and La Défense here. And with this equipment, Guillaume do nice pictures like these ones. Not in Paris, but do this one. And this is my small telescope. Really is the small telescope, it's not a joke. I have a bigger one, but I have problems because it was too big, and I am working to be able to mount it. It weighs around 200 kilograms. This blue part is more than 1 meter, and the dome it's about 4 meters diameter. To put you in context, because probably in a picture it's difficult to see the size. And with this telescope, I do nice pictures like this one. Disappointed? When my kids ask me, Papa, show me a picture of your telescope, and I show this, they say, ugh. And I spend all the night doing hundreds of images like this one. The same image during all the night. Because the important thing of this image is this star here. If I put the light that comes from this star during a period of time, or during all the pictures I have during the night, I have a graph like this one. First, you have a constant light. Then there is a, sorry, because I think the pointer, you don't see too much. Here in the first gray line, there is a sudden drop. The light continues down, and then suddenly increment the light. And this is because in that moment here, a planet, this star has a planet, and this planet crosses between us and the star. So they're producing this drop of light. This is a known planet, but I usually work to try to discover a new planet. So I work with, I'm a minion, and there is a lot of minions that like astronomy and do the same. And we are doing ugly pictures like this one during all the night. Get all the information, put all this information, put in all this data, and put this data in a public databases, and then the scientist comes and with all this information make the discovery of a new planet. For example, these are 2 papers that appear as a quote of the paper of a discovery of a planet. And why I explain you this? Because I feel that this is quite the same we do in Adevinta in the FinOps side. Because we are the minions that put together all the cost information of the different providers, mixing up with tagging, finances agreements, how the organization works, And then we show it to all the company. We have a tool that we call Cost Finder that shows the cost for the different providers. And then we show too saving opportunities. There is a lot of savings opportunities we find. Some of the savings are totally right, so it's you don't need to do any discover. It's sure that you have this saving you can do, but a lot of ones are more investigating. For example, in Ad Gateway, you have some suppositions that probably you have a lack of a S3 endpoint or something like this, and our scientists, the developers, need to investigate with this information we put and find the saving. And a part of this, from cloud governance, what we do is managing all the reservations. Only managing the reservations, we save more than 60 million since June of 2020. It's not because we started in 2020, it's because we don't store the data before. So, so we save a lot of money with this. This is Sergi. He's a friend of mine. I met him in the high school. In the high school, we make a good couple of friends. It was the moment everyone was trying to decide what want to be in the future. One wants to be a doctor, other wants to be physics, like me, other want to be a nurse. But at the end, everyone ends working something related with computer engineering. All except Sergi. Sergi, as you say here, is a photographer. Sergi is this type of guy that always wants to be in the minority. If he loves a band of music, it's because it's not popular. And if the band becomes popular, he hates it. If you go to the cinema to see a movie and everyone loves it, he hates it. And if everyone leaves the movie in the middle and thinks that it's a crap of movie, he loves it. So this is two levels. So some time ago, I was explaining to all my group of friends what I do in the FinOps side. Even all was related with computer engineering, not everyone knows about FinOps. Some are in on-premise, other in the cloud, but in the different parts, so doesn't know. And I was explaining, and all was amazed with what FinOps can do. Oh, you're saving a lot of money, this is really important for the company, you are a big part, so this is amazing. All except Sergi, of course. Sergi said, but this is only money. You are only saving money for the company. You are making the company rich, so this is not important. And this phrase remained in my head. Something that probably happens to all of you that are related in the FinOps, probably something that happens to you often, is that when nobody in the company, that there is a topic in the company that nobody knows how to work or who is the responsible for this, goes to the FinOps department. We have the same. Everybody, the people don't know how to do it, come to us. And in the last 5 or 4 years, we received from the sustainability team, we received the work to fill an Excel file with the carbon footprint of the cloud provider. We hate fill Excels, so even the tool I showed you before, the Cost Finder, was to not was built only to not need to do Excel files for finance. So it's our motivation. So when this year, when I was thinking that we will receive this, and thinking the phrase of my friend Sergi, I was starting to think a little bit about this. And I was feeling that in the cloud, for example, if you have a database that nobody is using, that typical database that is called test in a dev environment and turned it off 2 years ago and nobody remember, if you turn off, you are saving money. But you are not only saving money, you are saving carbon footprint too. So with this and the phrase of Sergi, I start to think that FinOps is a little bit more about that money. So we start to move something we call Green FinOps. So we start treating the carbon footprint information the same way we are treating the cost information. And we move it from this Excel file to a dashboard, for a multi-provider dashboard, when you can see the carbon footprint, for the yearly information, but not only this, the monthly information and the daily information of the carbon footprint, updated 2 times a day, so it's almost real time. And the information is by service, by team, and putting in the organization structure. And we are not only doing this. Now we added a forecast till the end of the month and a forecast till the end of the year. So the people for sustainability can do the projections and can do these nice reports based on this information. And you, of course, you are able to remove the forecast and everything to know exactly which is the data you are using now and the one that you will have in the future. But how we arrived there, how we calculate this information. Before to start to explaining how we calculate this information, that probably is something that you are interested on, we need to do a little bit of theory. So we need to explain a little bit about how the carbon footprint works. When I started to this, I used to think that all the carbon footprint was for the operational, that is called emissions. So, for example, for do this presentation, we are using the projector, that spends energy, the laptop that spends energy. So this is the carbon footprint that they are doing. But in the carbon footprint, you need to take into account too the embodied emissions. That is that, for example, to build the projector, you spend energy. And when you retire, this projector is thrown to the trash because it's too old or broke, there is more emissions of CO2 that you need to take into account. So it's important to take into account both the operational and the embodied emissions. And for each of these one, you need to take into account the scopes. Probably you heard about the scopes. It's something really that probably it's more popular in the sustainability. That the scopes are which part of the emissions are included. For example, the scope 1 is the energy. This is a mnemotechnic rule that is great. It's the 3 Ps. The scope 1 is the production you directly do. For example, in my company, we don't produce anything. So what we have cars, company cars. So the company cars burn the combustible, so produce CO2. So this is the energy we need to put in the scope 1. Then there is the scope 2. In the our offices need electricity. Our racks that we have in the office need energy. So we need to purchase this energy to a company that is the one producing the CO2. So this is the scope 2 that we need to take in account. And then there is the scope 3, that is everything that is not included in scope 1 and 2. For example, the cloud, it's included in the scope 3. All the servers you run in AWS purchase it's in the scope 2 of AWS, so it's the ones that you need to think on this carbon footprint. And this is important to you know exactly which embodied, if you are including embodied and operational emissions, and if you are including which type of and which scopes we are including when you do this report of the sustainability. We started our first attempt to get this information was go directly to the cloud providers. We started with AWS because it's our main providers. In Adevinta is a multi-company. I call it multi-company. It's not. It's a multi-company. It's a single company, but we grow purchasing other companies. So at the end, we become a separated companies. So whatever technology you can imagine it, whatever cloud you can imagine it, we have it. So we start with the biggest ones, but then we need to add the other cloud providers or other things. So we start with AWS. So the first approach was go with the direct information AWS provide to you. But we start to see different problems. In AWS, the information is not centralized. You need to go one by one account to get this information. We have more than 700 accounts, so this is quite a problem. The information is 3 months delayed, so it's not real time. It's not direct dated, and the granularity is too low. For example, you can see that there is only 3 regions, only 3 services, so the information is not the best one. And then we start to see that there is accounts that even has 20 machines running, databases. They see 0% of production. And other accounts in the same region and the same that has less things running has the information. So, and after talking with AWS, we see that depending when you create the account, sometimes it's not working, this information. So we decided that this is not now we can use this information. So we go to the second attempt. The second attempt was using, probably you know, a tool, an open source tool that is called Cloud Carbon Footprint. That it's a really nice and well-documented tool, really interesting. So we start to take a look on this. The information, so we start to put all the link our accounts to this tool. And you can see here that there is data information per day, I think it is. There is a lot multi-service. It's more detailed. There is a lot of services in the tool that you can put. You can put here. You can see here the information by tag, by account. But when we start to use the tool, we connect over 700 accounts, only 1 month, and the homepage takes more than 20 minutes to load. And when we try to put 2 months, it's still trying to load, so it was impossible to. And we want to add here a lot of AWS, GCP, Azure, so it was impossible to use it. So we moved to the third attempt. That it's, something interesting in the documentation of the Cloud Carbon Footprint that you can detailedly see which scopes are included, which information, which is embedded and embodied is included. Something bad is that they said that it's experimenting tool. The source of truth need to be the providers, but they are transforming cost into a carbon footprint as an approximation. It's a good one, but it's not the best one. In fact, we talked with the sustainability team, and they say that it's quite a standard, this way to transform with some coefficients, transform the cost to the carbon footprint. So they was agreed to use this tool to do this part. So it's an approximation, but it's a good approximation. So we moved to the third attempt. In the third attempt, we are mixing the information that comes from 3 main providers. We are using the Cloud Carbon Footprint tool, but not the UI. We are using only the backend. So we put all the data to the tool, and through the API this tool have, we extract all the information, and we put in the same tool I showed you at the beginning, that is the cost finder, the tool to show the teams the cost. They can show the cost, they can show the savings, and they can show the carbon footprint. And it runs with quick sites in AWS, so it's quite powerful. So we can show the amount of data we want, a big amount of data. And this is working nice, but still we are working on this, so we need to improve a lot of things. So something we recently added is that this sustainability theoretically and these kind of things, it's quite the same that all the knowledge of finance. Probably the people that are more related with this and work with this need to know the information of the sustainability, the theory of sustainability. But the developer not need to know this information. So we are working to show the information in units more friendly for the developer, like the mobile phones charged, the miles with the electric car, all these kind of things, because the equivalent of CO2, it's a number, and the people show it, and was not probably surprising, because they don't know if it's too much or too less. But if you put in context with another metrics, they are more interesting for the developer. So we are working now with different providers to add more information, not only the pure cloud providers. We are working with Datadog, Grafana, and Pizzolotti. And with Datadog was interesting because when we go to talk with them the first time, we told them that we want to add this information of carbon footprint in the tool. We show them, and they say, "Oh, we are doing the same in our tool we have. We are adding the information of the cloud carbon footprint from AWS in our tooling." And we say, no, we don't want the information from AWS. We already have it. We want your cloud, CO2 information for our usage in your tool. And they look at us surprised and tell us, it's the first time somebody asked us. In Grafana was quite the same, but at the end we start to see that they have the same problems as we have. So we are more working together to arrive to have the same information. In the company, there are a lot of Sergis, my friend, that probably are not interested too much in save money for the company, but are really interested in saving CO2. So in this part of the savings, we are adding not only if you kill this database, you will save that money and we will save that amount of CO2. So we are putting this information in the same place, so be able to see what you are saving on both sides. And we are building, we are engaging the budget process and the CO2 together to be able to we want to have objectives in the company to reduce the CO2. So the first is measure everything, and we want to link both processes, the money project and the CO2, link this budgeting and forecast processing to be able to move these objectives to the small teams we have in the company. So a global objective to a small one for each team. But we see that there is a lot of problems to solve. Still, the numbers that based on cost, the CO2 based on cost is an approximation. We know it. The granularity is still too low. For example, even the cloud carbon footprint gives us a lot of information. We want to know inside, for example, inside EC2. We want to know if that instance is saving, it's producing more CO2 than the other one. We want to sell the gravitons because are more efficient than the other one. So we need more detail on this and probably on time. There is no standardization information. If you go to the provider, it will show you in one way, and others probably not show it or have in another way. Ones are showing you only the operational, other ones the embodied and operational. Azure, for example, shows you the different scopes. So there is no standardization. With this, for example, focus can be a problem that can solve this if we start to include here information for carbon footprint or build something similar to focus that include, but probably this need more, too much columns in the focus. We don't know, but it's something we need to solve. And we think that the providers need to be the source of truth. At the end, the approximate cost with CO2 is an approximation. We need to go to the providers, and the providers need to be the ones that give us the real information in a good way. So at the end, we need to return to the providers to have. Something really interesting on all this process was the collaboration with the sustainability team. We have a sustainability team separated from us that make the sustainability for all the company. But we are collaborating with them only for the cloud part. And it's quite the same we do with finance. So we are working now with procurement, sustainability, and finance in the same way. So are really engaged with them and working together. And we learn a lot of this collaboration. In the past, we only think about electricity, your laptop bar spending, not all the scopes and everything. So we learn a lot with them. And it's really enriched for the company. And this is probably our objective, that we don't want the people in the company decide the architecture or something based on cost or based on carbon footprint. But what we want to achieve is that in any decision, the cost and the carbon footprint need to take into account. So we need this leverage. To end the presentation, it's still some minutes, I want to enter a little bit in deep on this question about how, if the cost is a correct way to calculate or how good is the cost to calculate the carbon footprint. And to enter on this, I will advance part of a new talk I want to do in the future. It's called the 5 minutes budget. It's not a fancy name, so I need to sell this presentation before to some conference purchase it. It's a project we are doing that we want that anyone that need to be the budget can be able to do a budget of the whole year in less than 5 minutes. And this talk goes about FinOps, of course, about Green FinOps. We are including everything, so it's everything FinOps, Green FinOps too. About how FinOps give you superpowers to you, about quantum mechanics, and about Starbucks. And this is because in 2023, I like Starbucks, sorry, I need to admit. I don't go often, or probably once a month with my wife, not too much. But I like the flavor coffee drinks they have. So I have the fidelity program, and one day I received an email like this. The email was this one here. It's in Spanish, but I make the translation. That for the International Coffee of the 2023, and it was for the last year, not for this year, for each drink you order with espresso, they will give you 3,000 star points. Probably you don't know, but the 3,000 star points, it's a free drink, no matter the size, no matter the flavor, and no matter when you want to purchase. You have the stars and you can spend when you want. So it's a good offer. And it says, the email, that you can order as many as you want. So the 1st of October of 23, I go with my wife, and we order 2 drinks, the ones we usually do. So I was checking the application, and I see they give me these 6,000 points. So then when we finished the drinks, I went to the guy that was attending, and I say, I want 20 espressos. And he looked at me scared. I say, it's a joke, no? No, I want 20 espressos. And I say, you don't need to put me. I only want to pay it. Because I can drink 20 espressos now because I will die. And the guy says, I don't know if it's possible because I only have 1 espresso and a +1 button. And I start to +1, +1, +1, +1. And finally, I ordered 20 espressos. And my wife looked at me strange. Why you ordered 20 espressos and you spend this money? And I say, easy, because 1 espresso costs 1.8. And when we go to drink something, usually it's between 5 and 7 euros. So I will have 20, not free, but a really good discount drinks for the future. And she looked at me and says, well, how do you think to do that? And I say, it's easy. It's what I do in my job. I purchase reserved instance and saving plans to save money in the future. It's the same. My wife looked at me with the shiny eyes, and was the first time I feel that my wife understands what I do in my job, what really FinOps is. So, and when I left the bar, I heard the guy that was attending that says, yes, there is an offer. There is a guy purchasing a lot of coffee because this will give free drinks in the future. So when I think on this, I think for example, this expression need to be here. In Starbucks, for example, the carbon footprint is related with the cost. Is the money they do. For example, the biggest coffees are more costly, so probably it's because they are producing more CO2. Of course, with offers like this one that we almost see, it's not okay because I am paying 1.8 for the expensive drink I can have, so this doesn't fit. And same happens with the cloud. No, you have offers, you have saving plans that are not related with you are making discount. You have agreements that decrease the discount. So probably the price is not the best way to calculate the price. Usually the price in Netherlands is I don't know exactly this is the formula they do, but as I heard, it's probably something that any company do. The cost, the price of something they sell to you is related with the operational cost. So the guy that is, or the woman that is running the service, the cost of the salaries, the energy, the consumption, the capital cost, all the amortization of all this purchase of the servers, and the profit. And the profit is not directly correlated with the carbon footprint. As we see, there are saving plans, there are a lot of things that can reduce this profit. They do because they will earn more money in total, but at the end, for a small purchase, it's less cost. But it's not totally correlated. But it's you can think that, for example, when we do a saving plan for 3 years, AWS will know that they will use the server for 3 years. So they can leverage better the stocks they need to purchase, the amount of machines they have. So at the end, if they do a better budget of the capacity they need, they will save a lot of CO2, not purchasing more or not producing more things that they need. So at the end, this profit is related with the capitalization. So make that the capitalization is not directly collected with a carbon footprint. But then the operational cost is related with a carbon footprint, no? But not, because the price of the electricity, the price of the different things make changes that doesn't affect the carbon footprint. So since that we don't have a solution, but even if it's not directly related, everything is related with the carbon footprint at the end. So it's not a way to calculate perfectly the carbon footprint, but it's the best way we have until now. And this is better start to do it something with the information we have. That a way to have the perfect information, because probably we need to wait years until we have the perfect information. So it's better start now and start pushing the companies to do that. And this makes me remember the first of the beginning of the talk. I told you about exoplanets, or planets that turns around other stars. And in the exoplanets, for example, if I need to wait to have a telescope with a size to be able to see directly a planet, I will need to wait until I have something like this. You can see here a car. This is the telescope that is projected now that is quite, I think it's around 40 meters of diameter. It's 100 times bigger than my telescope. I will never have this telescope to be able to look directly at exoplanets. But if I am doing exoplanets since 2011. So even I don't have this big telescope, indirectly I start to see how, the planets. So in the carbon footprint is the same. You don't need to wait until have the best information. You need to start now making all these assumptions, all this information, and start doing things. Something interesting, well, something curious is that the people from astronomy that are not a good ones putting names. For example, this is one telescope that is projected to that has a 13-meter telescope, and the name of this telescope is 13-meter telescope. It's the official name of the telescope. This one, that is the bigger one, this picture, is called extremely large telescope. So they are not good putting names. In fact, one of the biggest one that is closer here in Canarias, it's called the Gran Tecan. At the end, Gran Tecan means big telescope of Canarias. So the people are not good putting names. And to finalize, as I say, the offer of coffee of the Starbucks was last year, not this one. When I think to do this with the offer of Starbucks, I was thinking that I'm not cheating the people from Starbucks. The people from marketing for Starbucks are really clever, and when they do these offers of you can purchase any coffee you want, the amount you want, they know that the people will do the same I do, purchase a lot of espressos in order to have. But they know that, and they will receive a lot of money in that money, and that moment, and they don't need to borrow this money to the banks, so they are saving a lot of money. So it's something that they thought. So I was thinking on this, and I was expecting the arrival of the offer this year to purchase 18, not 20, espressos. But this time the offer arrived totally different. You only have until 12 o'clock to purchase the coffee. They give you the size tall only, so it's the second smallest size. So they was feeling that something was not good. And they put that you only have 1 month to spend the coffee. So it was not these points that you can use whenever you want. So probably the people from marketing didn't thought too much last year, the offer. And that's all.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. We have about 10 minutes for questions, so who wants to kick us off?
Hi, thank you so much for the talk. It's really inspiring to see how much you come in your journey for the green FinOps. And I want to circle back to the part where you're showing for the teams the potential savings with regards to the carbon footprint. And my question how much have you thought of the common or the shared costs? So let's say the teams that are using shared resources like Kubernetes clusters, is that something that is on your roadmap? Have you cracked how basically to reflect all the way to the the shared resources, how to calculate that?
Yeah, in this part, the information I showed you in this cloud cost finder I showed you before, we have information of our providers, but we have information about our central teams too. So, for example, the Kubernetes cluster is a central team that we have information and the people can find which is the usage of any team on this cluster. And something we are doing is calculate it's an approximation now, but of course we need to start for something. For this, we are making a conversion between how the amount of CO2 for euro we are spending on each provider, and doing this for each day. So comparing this with the usage of the Kubernetes clusters, we can put this information so the teams can see exactly the pods what are consuming. And with this, we are getting all this information about the requested versus used. So with this, we can inform about which is the savings they can do if they fit better the usage versus the need.
All right, fantastic. Thank you. One up front.
Hi, good presentation. My name is Dave. One question about the architecture that you have shown. So this cloud carbon footprint client that you are using, so that is converting the CUR data or the core data and creating a new kind of data set, and then you are ingesting the data into the quick site and showing that?
Exactly. Yes, what we are, the cloud carbon footprint converts the core information and all the different, for the other providers, converts this money in carbon footprint based on some coefficients of change. In fact, as is an open source, we updated some of these coefficients because it was really dated. It was from the 2020, and we dated to 23 and 25, so we are doing this. And what we do is get this information from this tool and mix with all the knowledge of our organization. Because if you get this information, you have the information by account only. And you can add tagging, but it's what we have a complex organization that we have a marketplace, area in central teams in the marketplace, areas in the marketplace, then have teams. So we have sometimes some levels, and sometimes we want to see the information aggregated from these different levels. So what we do is that information that comes from the carbon footprint that it's only based on the accounts, we mix with all the knowledge of our organization, and then we add to that in our database, and then show it with quick sites.
Sorry, just a follow-up question on that. So are you using CUR 2.0 or the legacy CUR?
What?
CUR 2.0 or the legacy CUR data?
Sorry, I don't understand.
You said the cost and usage report you are taking.
Yeah.
So AWS, they have come up with the latest 2.0.
Yes, I think we are, yes, the 2.0 we are using. Yes, we updated everything.
Okay, and then you are running the ETL job because CUR files, those are coming 1 time or 3 times. You don't know when it is coming, right? So you are doing that in event-based trigger, or how are you doing the running?
No, it's the carbon cloud footprint has some different schedules that they go read and get the information only for the period of time between this and produce this information. This daily information, what we are doing is get the information from, I think, for the past 5 days, sorry, and always we overwrite the information with the past days. And because the current day usually is not complete, because EWS always have a delay in the curve, there is always a delay between 8 and 28 hours. So we want to skip these gaps. And we overwrite the information of the last 5 days, because sometimes in the curve there is information that is updated later. It's not updated the same day. So usually we are reprocessing all the 5 days or sometimes more time.
Okay, thank you.
Did you have one here in the front?
Thank you, Ferran, for your presentation. Very interesting indeed. What I was wondering is, if I understood correctly, that you actually have developed the tooling yourself, and whether you're planning to open source it for others to benefit.
Yeah, it's something we thought a lot of times. Now it's really coupled to our organization. It's something that probably we need to take into consideration. But when it's what we say always, that this tool is really done for the complexity of Adevinta. And outside of Adevinta, probably there are no companies that don't have this complexity and doesn't need this complexity tool. So we need to first, we started in 2017. To do this, so before the FinOps start. We have a lot of things that we need to improve. For example, the use of focus. We started now to using it, and this standardization. Now we are pulling all the different different APIs of the different providers. So when we standardize everything, probably we will think about open source it. We always want to open source things.
Great. Hi, I'm John. So I'm actually been working in the cloud sustainability space for over 4 years now, and we're a data provider for cloud sustainability. So it's really great to see this new innovation happening in the industry. And really, I'm just wondering, what is the end value you're looking to supply for this data? Is it reporting compliance need? Is it decarbonizing? Is it catalyzing FinOps? It'd be interesting to know your perspective on things.
It's a really interesting question because I forgot to mention something, so I will use it to add it. Something interesting, our initial desire was more try to approach more the FinOps for the people that think that the money is something not important for the company, so more the services that we have in the company. But something really interesting, and of course, Adevinta is a company that is second-hand cars, second-hand car houses, so it's in the core of the company, the sustainability. So it's a motive that we have that always want to contribute to improve the world with this. But something really interesting that we doesn't thought and at the end happens is that we was usually to receive one report a year with the carbon footprint, with only the one number. And you see the report, you see the number, and you say, okay, it's fine. It's this one, next year probably will more, next year probably will less, we don't know. But when we start to graph everything by day, the people, especially the people that was doing, we do the report globally for Adevinta, but each marketplace do the report too. So the people from the marketplace start to see, this is a graph. What is happening here? What there is a drop here? What is the sudden increment here? What is happening? And say, this is the movement from the on-premise to the cloud. This is for a change within the infrastructure. So the people start to think more. If you have a number, you see the number, you can think that it's okay or bad. But if you have a graph, you can start to see feel what is happening. So, and this is really important, making the people more aware of what is happening and more conscious about this.
The next question's right here.
Yeah, great. I'm happy you mentioned this. Hi, I'm Anastasia. My question was exactly for that. So did you see a bigger engagement from your Serges? Because I know my company has more Serges than regular friends when we talk about FinOps and cost. So did you see a significant increase on people getting interested in both the cost and sustainability graphs?
Yes, in fact we have this, a lot of people come after to ask questions about, what happened here, what is that? And sometimes there are people from sustainability asking this, but we receive this question too from developer teams that saying, we don't do any change and there is this increment here. And this because, for example, the problem with all what's happening in Europe, that the region in Ireland has incremented has incremented the CO2 production for the energy. So this interest for even the developers has incremented a lot. So it was really interesting.
All right, we've got about a minute left, and I saw 2 hands here, so let's try to wrap those in.
Yeah, thank you very much. My question is about actions. Have you seen people taking actions based on the graphs that you are providing to them? And has there been any kind of trade-offs between carbon savings versus cost savings?
We are just starting with putting this trade-off between savings and carbon, so we are too early to see this direct approach on the savings. But what we are seeing more implication is in the disengagement between budget and forecast, budget forecast, and carbon footprint. Because it's really important if the company has a global objective to reduce carbon footprint, for example, that we have it. If we don't know what is or we only know in a company level which is the carbon footprint for the whole 1 year and another year, it's really difficult to action. But with this, we are moving this objective global for the company to a monthly objective for each team inside the company, so the teams can start to work more on this. So in fact, in the company are really aware of FinOps, and we're aware on the move to Graviton to this, and we see a little bit more incentive to do this, but it's still too early to see more in detail on this part.
All right, we have one more question. Just sit tight for one more, and then when we are finished, please do me a favor and take your empty cups and bottles with you to the next section. Thanks.
This will be a quick one. What's your favorite Starbucks drink?
My favorite? Starbucks. The pumpkin spice latte. It's my favorite. That's why in October is when we go more to the Starbucks, and it's the moment of the offer.
Thank you, Ferran. Let's give him a round of applause, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for watching. Check out more FinOps X Europe content on our YouTube channel playlist. Like, subscribe, click the notification bell, and leave comments and questions for speakers to help our channel. We appreciate your support.